to 10 p.m., the 5th of December 1945. 5 U.S. Navy torpedo bomber aircraft took off from Florida in a routine 3-hour training mission, known as Flight 19. 5 aircraft had 14 crew members, and was led by a highly experienced pilot and war veteran, Lieutenant Charles Carroll Taylor. The weather was clear and calm for the first 2 hours, and then started to deteriorate. These planes encountered compass malfunctions and communication issues 2 hours into their flight when the weather was still rough. Confusion arose about their location, and bad weather added to their troubles. Taylor believed they were over the Gulf of Mexico, and instructed the planes to fly east, while some crew members thought they were already east of Florida, and should go west. As night fell, it was estimated they were actually 370 kilometers east of Florida. At 7:04 p.m., Taylor sent his last radio transmission, and the 5 planes vanished forever. Till date, no one have any clue about these aircrafts. Despite a massive search operation, no trace of the planes or their crew was found. A search and rescue Mariner aircraft with 13 crew members also disappeared during the search. A large-scale Air Sea search operation was carried out to look for both of these flights. This was one of the largest search operations of the time that could find nothing, neither body of any person nor any part of the aircraft. Everything had disappeared. This area, where both flights disappeared, is now famously known as the Bermuda Triangle, where over 3,000 ships and 100 planes have vanished over the past 50 years. This area lies between Florida in the USA, Puerto Rico with the country Bermuda in the north. This makes a triangular area like this. This region, also called the Devil's Triangle, a source of intrigue, legend and fear, spans over 500,000 square miles in Atlantic Ocean and has been shrouded in mystery for centuries. Historical accounts of strange occurrences in the area date back to Christopher Columbus, who reported that his compass stopped working and saw a strange light that looked like a ball of fire and was falling out of the sky into the ocean in 1492. This was the start of the mystery which is going on till now. Various names like the Graveyard of the Atlantic, the Sea of Doom, Sargasso Graveyard were given to this region in the 18th and 19th centuries. But the term Bermuda Triangle was popularized in a 1964 article titled The Deadly Bermuda Triangle by Vincent H. Gaddis, which summarized decades of disappearances. He tried to create a mystery by linking all the disappearance in this area and claimed that there must have something peculiar in this area, otherwise so many aircraft and ships would not have disappeared. He didn't give any definite explanation as to why it happened, but this article made the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle the most popular at the time, and sparked numerous books, films, and video games on the topic. Another notable incident included the USS Cyclops vanishing in 1918 with 306 people and 11,000 tons of manganese. In World War I, USS Cyclops was a very important asset for the American Navy as it was one of the biggest and fastest ship of the world at that time. It was used to transport the troops and coal in the battlefield. On the 4th of March 1918, it started its journey toward Brazil from the city Baltimore. It was supposed to reach Brazil in 9 days. The weather was clear when it started its journey, but this ship suddenly disappeared. A ship this huge, one of the biggest ships at that time. How could it disappear suddenly? This shocked everyone. Another more frightening and daunting incident was the Ellen Austin mystery. Ellen Austin, a 210 feet long ship, traveling from London to New York in 1881. On the way, near the Bermuda Triangle area, Ellen Austin encountered an unidentified ship. This unidentified ship looked completely normal from outside, and the captain of Ellen Austin brought his ship alongside this ship and waited for 2 days to see if there was any response from the other ship. As there was no response for 2 days, the captain decided to go aboard the ship. He found everything was in the place it should have been, but there was no people at all on the ship. The ship was not attacked by the pirates, as all the valuable items of this ship were intact. The captain sent some of his crew members on that ship to continue their journey together. Both ships continued ahead normally until a storm came that separated their paths and the unidentified ship had disappeared. After the storm was over, the captain spotted the ship at some distance. He reached near it, but found no trace of his crew members on that ship, but the ship was still intact. The captain again sent some more crew members to steer the ship. But the same story repeated again. The unidentified ship gets separated as a new storm hits again, and the new crew members on it disappear once again. When Ellen Austen returned, the owner of the ship sold off the ship to a German company, being terrified with the story. It is an intriguing and legendary story, but unfortunately, and most probably, this incident is just a story. It is not possible to verify it properly, as the incident is very old. When a story is very popular that are passed down to generations, but cannot be verified properly and the truth cannot be unearthed, that story is called legends. Many people think that the Bermuda Triangle mystery is one such legend. Several theories attempt to explain the Bermuda Triangle mysteries. Some people blame the aliens, whereas some other blame giant sea monster under the ocean for the disappearances. In this era of science, these theories are truly outlandish and irrational, so let's consider the theories that sound a bit more scientific. One common explanation is based on magnetism. Geographic North Pole of the Earth and the magnetic North Pole are two distinct points. We see magnetic pole, not geographic pole, on a compass. The difference between the magnetic and geographic North Poles can be seen in this photo. While using the compass, user usually take this into account. But in some areas of the Earth, compass shows magnetic and geographic North Poles at the same place. These places are called agonic lines. Agonic lines usually shift with time, but for the last 200 to 300 years, the zero line is situated in the area of the Bermuda Triangle. This usually creates confusion. Another explanation is that the area in the Bermuda Triangle is quite shallow. Looking into Bermuda Triangle area from satellite map, this area is surrounded by turquoise color all around because this area in the ocean stretches across a long distance with shallow waters. So in old days, the ships came to this area, got stuck here due to shallow waters because it is quite impossible to see from a ship. Third explanation is that this area has one of the highest rates of hurricanes in the world. China face most hurricanes in the world, followed by the USA at number 2 and Cuba at number 3. Also, state of Florida gets the most hurricanes in the USA, Florida and Cuba lies in Bermuda Triangle area, where hurricanes and water sprouts more frequently. The fourth explanation is methane hydrates. There are large fields of methane hydrates in some areas of the ocean. Laboratory experiments by scientists has proved that when there's an exceeding amount of methane bubbles in the water, the density of the water gets lower. As a result, the buoyancy of a ship cannot be maintained and the ship drowns. It's exactly the opposite logic, as higher salt content increases density of water and makes easier for things to float. Methane is released when volcanoes erupt underwater, and at that time, if a ship is traveling over the area, the ship would instantly sink into the water without giving any warnings. Even though this is an scientifically acceptable explanation, but there was no direct evidence that any disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle was due to methane hydrates. The fifth explanation, which is related to human psychology, is the most important in my opinion. Bader-Meinhof effect, or the frequency illusion, a psychological effect that states that when we start to notice things more, then we start finding them more often around us. Though some big aircraft and vessels disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle, but if you notice rationally, there have been such disappearances in many areas around the world, across all oceans. Some fabricated tales like Ellen Austen and huge media exposure has made people start paying more attention to the disappearances and incidents in Bermuda Triangle area than similar disappearances and incidents happening outside the Bermuda Triangle area. Journalist Larry Kush has also reached to this solution in his famous book The Bermuda Triangle Mystery Solved. There's no concrete evidence that incidents happen more frequently here than in other parts of the ocean. The United States Coast Guard and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration have also emphasized that the Bermuda Triangle is not necessarily more hazardous than other heavily trafficked areas, especially considering the frequent hurricanes and the Gulf Stream in the region. The United States Coast Guard also states that the area within the Bermuda Triangle is heavily trafficked, could account for some of the mystery. Also, the fact that the Bermuda Triangle is often swept by hurricanes and the presence of the Gulf Stream. It is not hard to see why ships might occasionally sink there. Even WWF had not included Bermuda Triangle in the world's 10 most dangerous bodies of water for shipping in their detailed study report. This supports the idea that the mysterious disappearances of ships and aircraft have nothing to do with the Bermuda Triangle. Baader-Meinhof effect, or frequency illusion, plays a significant role, where people notice disappearances in this area more due to its notoriety and exposure. Despite similar incidents occurring in other areas of the world, you might want to know now what was the ball of fire that Christopher Columbus had seen fall into the ocean. Scientists believe that it was actually a meteor seen by Christopher Columbus. In conclusion, the mysteries associated with the Bermuda Triangle are likely a result of heightened attention and folklore rather than any inherent danger in the area. Thank you for watching this video.